this forward a little. Should be alright.
And if you ever need to call for quiet time, don't be afraid to let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably won't have to turn the Nintendo up until the cave section, so things should be okay. Alright, so first I have to name myself exclamation points. The game is going to give me a checksum based on that name. If I choose any other name, this won't work with the data that I've gathered for myself.
Mike, do you want to host yourself?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so if you want to log in.
Um,
Host yourself?
Well,
I think we're okay.
No, I can just log it online. You can just log in.
What? No, it's okay.
I can do it after the runs, but...
Well,
We should have done it before. We
Yeah,
gotta keep moving. We gotta keep
think of that
moving.
before I...
okay, there's still time, but alright.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! So thanks to a discovery late last year, it was discovered that the RNG in this game is completely manipulatable, and through brute force analysis, one can basically accomplish anything as low as level 7 in this game. So the first thing we want to do, the Taz basically has all the answers for this game. What we want to do is emulate the Taz as closely as possible, and I found a way to do that in May. We're going to start by going and killing 4 metal slimes. Oh right, I need the reset button for this. It's so weird playing on a different setup. We'll see how this goes. Is that gonna be good? I can't tell yet. We need to wait until we go downstairs, see how the NPCs move. No, that's not good. So basically, I have to clear the text box on a very specific frame, and this is the little bit of randomness that's allowed, because if it goes wrong, it's right at the beginning and we can just reset. So it's not that big a deal. Again, we gotta go downstairs to see if this one will work. Nope.
I would like to say quickly, thank you to Ledendi for the host. That's a big host. Thank you very much.
Left again. Alright, again we have to go downstairs and see if that worked. Nope.
Also, we're $28 away from meeting the donation incentive for Mega Man 10.
Nice. Oh. So I can't tell yet if... I assume there's no lag on this CRT, but... Okay, this should work. This one should be good. We're on our way. Oh yeah, I didn't switch controllers.
Oh, shit.
I can switch in between sections if I really feel like it's necessary, but this D-pad is really, really good, so I'm actually tempted to stick with this. Like, I think this D-pad's actually better than the controller I brought. So, the RNG is constantly cycling forward in this game. When you move, for every tile you step, it cycles 1 frame forward, and for every quarter second that you're standing still, it cycles 16 forward. 16 frames forward. So every time I stop on a square, it's because if I walked to the next square, there would be an encounter. So the brute force process of manipulating this game involves finding out where all the encounters are, and then resetting and skipping past them. So it's a long process to map them all out, but that's what we're doing here. We're avoiding every encounter. Every time we stop, it means if I took another step, there would be an encounter on the next square. So here I have to stop a little longer to find ourselves the first metal slime. Now, I created a marathon-safe route for killing 4 metal slimes here, and I might have to concentrate to follow it a little bit, so I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit here. Just in case.
Let me know when you can do donations.
Yeah. Okay, so I got the wrong enemy already, so we're going to have to reset the section again.
So,
I am kind of concerned that there might be a little bit of audio difference in lag between this CRT and the one I use, but
oh, weird.
I'm hoping that that's just my imagination right now, but I was really surprised that I got the wrong enemy down in Metal Slimeville. But we'll try it again.
My fault for talking.
Oh no, it wasn't your fault, but we'll see what happens when I get there. Like, I'm not even looking at notes for this particular section. I'm so used to this walk, I don't even think about it anymore. This is the walk that's done so much, because when you're trying to speedrun this game and not going for a marathon safe route, there are a lot of resets involved to kill the first 4 metal slimes, because basically, every time you play, you only have a 1 in 8 chance of killing them all, and that's just because of how battle RNG works between battles. It's basically a coin flip that you will either encounter the metal slime you're looking for or something else. So for that reason, there's a lot of resetting. It takes usually about a half an hour on average to kill all 4 metal slimes. And that's why I invented this marathon safe route, but again, if the audio cues are going to be off, then I'm not going to be able to do this on this TV. So we'll just have to wait and see, and hope for the best.
Thank you,
No, go ahead.
Thanks, Magnet, for the $10 donation. Had to help out during one of my favorite runs to watch. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, I got it again. I'm not sure we can do this on this TV, unfortunately. I'll give it one more try, but I've never seen that happen before, ever, so...
I've never seen this happen before.
He splits it when he streams it himself.
It's the theme of Slurpathon.
That's never happened before.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at all of us. It's never happened before.
Also, Magnet, if you want to let us know about the donation bid war, Second Opinion versus New Blood, which one you prefer?
Yeah, so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, most of the rest of the game doesn't involve audio cues, so hopefully I can either complete the rest or at the very least, you know, give a good demonstration of what's involved. Because it's not just all skipping encounters, we also have to encounter a few enemies, not just metal slimes. We have to kill a gold man, we have to kill an axe knight, and of course the Dragon Lord himself, which is really fun to do at level 7. So based on what I think is going on with the delay, I'm going to try to make a slight adjustment in how I respond to the audio cues, and we'll just see if it works. Metal Slime number 1. Here we go. Okay, I think we got past it. Now what we're looking for here is either a Magiwyvern or a Knight. We got the Magiwyvern. And the next enemy we encounter will be a Metal Slime. This will be Metal Slime number 2. So this is the way I get past the RNG problem of the coin flips here. Instead of going straight for the Metal Slimes, we get an interim enemy that we can act first against, so we can run away. And then I find a Metal Slime after that. He should attack me for 2 damage, and we're good. So we need to get an excellent move, which is what I'm setting us up for here. The odds of getting an excellent move are only 1 in 32, so we have to get to a specific command to get the RNG required. Alright, hopefully this is good. Looks good. Alright, Dargon Warrior is saved. Woo!
I have to note just how impressive it is that you're able to modify yourself to the current situation to make it still work. That's very impressive.
Well, I had to do that after my RNG work as well, because it had to all be done on emulator for the sake of speed. And the lag when working with emulator, it's at least 8 frames, it might be even more than that, and it was a trial to, you know, change from one to the other. Like, I had to figure out how big the gap was and adjust all my audio cues. So I'm used to the process at the very least. So I was hoping I could save the run in that way. Alright.
It's good practice for a certain giant marathon, just in case.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to know that that kind of thing can happen for sure.
Because there's so much splitting going on at AGDQ for the sound, and it gets piped through a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Now here again, I have to go downstairs and check if the NPCs are going to cooperate with me, and they are, so we're on the right track. Next step is getting a gold man so that we have enough money to purchase 5 keys. And I'll explain what we need those for in a sec, I just need to make sure I'm in the right place here. Yeah, this should be fine. So we need a total of 3 keys to beat the game, but we also want 2 extra keys so that we can get the wings in Remolder, which are guarded by 2 key doors.
Thank you, Retro Gaming Live TV, for the host, and Kong Cakes. You guys are awesome.
So there's this little zone, which I think is just 2 squares big, or maybe 3, right down here, where we can encounter goldmen nice and close by. They're too strong for us, so we have to put them to sleep, and that requires more manipulation.
Thank you, Velociraptor42, for the host.
We're also too weak to fight it. So it requires all magic. And this final manipulation I'm going to do is going to give us... It's going to make the gold man give us enough gold so that we can actually afford what we need. Hurt works very often on gold men, but we need to wait a while to make sure we actually get 195 gold here. And wolf? Yes. So I've got a little manipulation here for safety that allows us a 100% chance of running from that wolf. Again, it's only 50-50 that we're going to encounter the wolf. Otherwise, I'll encounter a metal scorpion and a warlock, and I also have manipulations to run away from them. And again, that's just for total marathon safety. So, we have exactly enough money for 5 keys, and we're going to buy them all now.
No herbs?
No herbs.
Darn. That herb?
Oops. Yeah, every other Dargon Warrior speedrun requires herbs, but not this one.
The herbs.
So before we do anything else, we have to make sure we actually get these wings.
That was 1 HP killing the Dragon Lord earlier.
Aw.
I didn't buy herbs again.
Aw.
But
fight in Dragon Quest is weird.
I'll bet.
It's all scripted, so.
Alright, so we also need key items. The first one we're going to pick up is Erdrick's Token. So again, before we start each section, because our RNG would be really messed up from those battles, among other things, we create a save point and we reset, so we can start the whole process over again. And if you go left, then we're good. So they'll both go right here, and then up right, and left left, and we're good. So we're on our way to get Erdrick's Token. And this section has a surprisingly low amount of stops required. At the very least in the first half. And at the end too. In the middle there's a little bit, but... I haven't stopped yet. The first stop is going to be right over here. And then again, a nice long walk before the second stop.
Sammy, do you want to swap with me?
Sure?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, of course.
Slurpathon, where no one goes hungry. Alright, we need a bit of a stop here. I don't like pausing on hills because hills already sort of slow down your movement. So I just do a little manipulation there so that we avoid all encounters on a smooth walk through the hills. And now I only have one stop to go. It's going to be for 2 beats, not 1. But we're going to go all the way to the last forest here. And now we have just exactly enough HP to survive the walk to the exact square where the token is. We're going to pick it up, and then as soon as we make the next step, it's an instant suicide. And that's the reason we get the token now as opposed to later, which is when we used to get it later. We get it now for really nice quick suicide, which is great for the speed run. Because the alternative is having to encounter an enemy, because we'd have Erdrick's armor and that would save us from the swamp. Oh. Alright, we've got what we need here. Yeah, this D-pad is excellent. I love it. The A button should not be an issue. I really don't foresee it being an issue because pretty much everything I'm going to do in this, like, there's no mashing, it just requires one touch of the A button. So the next thing we're going to do is get Erdrick's armor, which is guarded by an Axe Knight, which of course, once again, is way too strong for us to beat right now. So we're going to put him to sleep with some manipulation, and then use our attack magic to do damage. I love practicing this game. Every time I play it, it gets easier and easier to talk through what I'm doing, and that's really good for AGDQ. Alright, that looked correct. So everything should be fine here. So we manipulate our way into an Axe Knight where we attack first. And conveniently enough, I also found an excellent move here, so we can actually do some physical damage. But the rest is going to be hurt spells. One more hurt will do it. Oh wow, I actually encountered something else on this one square, and that's actually really good, because the Axe Knight can put us to sleep, and that can mess with RNG, so... Well, it also takes longer. So that's actually really nice to see. Now, in a speedrun, we wouldn't save here because the next section does not involve manipulation. But here we actually are going to save in case something goes wrong. This is the marathon safety save of the run.
Wrong. Actually, She's supposed to bonk you?
Oh, again, we're not doing any manipulation here, so... First thing we do is get the Stones of Sunlight, another key item, then we're going to get the Silver Harp, which we exchange for the Staff of Rain, yet another key item. Once we have the Staff of Rain, we'll go get the Rainbow Drop, the final key item. Well, other than Erdrick's Sword, of course. Now, we don't actually need Erdrick's Sword to win the game, but the reason we get it is not because of the Dragon Lord's final form, it's actually because of his first form. We need to save all our MP for the second form so that we can beat him in a timely fashion. So we're going to be attacking the first form, and if we were to try to beat the Dragon Lord's first form at level 7 without Erdrick's Sword, we could do it, but we'd only be doing 1 damage per attack, so it would probably take about half an hour to beat him, maybe more. Because it's only 50-50 that our attack will hit, and it's only about a 25% chance that the Dragon Lord will cast Stop Spell, which we need him to do every time because we cannot take damage. So we have to wait, approximately 8 commands on average to get the result we want, and we have to do that, I think it's 75 to 100 times to make sure that we actually take down all the Dragon Lord 1's HP. So here, the most important part after playing a lot of Dragon Warrior Randomizer is to remember, don't open any of these treasure chests. If I open one of those treasure chests, the run is over. Of course, because I saved, I can go back and restart the section. But if I were to, take an extra torch, for example, and then complete this section and save, well, there would be an extra torch in my inventory. And that would mess up my checksum. And again, I suppose I could burn off an extra torch and come back and save, but that would waste a lot of time. And we're not about wasting time in speedruns. So yeah, you're going to see less commands here. We're going to be running from enemies without manipulation. The reason is basically because of these doors. When you open a door, you've got to clear a text box frame perfectly, and there are 2 doors to open, so it's highly, highly unlikely that we're going to get the path that we desire. And to map out multiple paths would take a really, really, really long time. I mean, I'm sure I'll do it someday, but for now it is a ton of work for a very small time gain, so it's gonna have to wait while I fine-tune other things. So the big danger here is basically we do not want to encounter a Wraith Knight before we get the Silver Harp. Only a 20% chance of it happening. These guys are good in terms of safety because they cast Stop Spell, I think, half the time.
How droll.
Anyway, now that we have the Silver Harp, we're going to Suicide out, and that means the Wraith Knight is the best enemy for us to find. It'll kill us faster than anything else. And we got one! How about that? Alright, I gotta figure out what I'm doing here. I've got a very small surface to work with. Okay, this is the right frame. And so on we go. So yeah, next step is picking up the Staff of Rain. There aren't going to be many stops along this route either. But, in order to manipulate our way down to the Rainbow Drop with no encounters, I had to map out multiple paths. And we just have to wait and see which one we're going to be on once we actually pick up the harp. Or the Staff of Rain, rather. So we'll see what happens. Now, if this manipulation doesn't work, we can still get down there with encounters. We just have to survive at the very end, basically. So we'll see what we get. Okay. This should be good. I think this will be alright. Stop here. Stop here for a while. Okay. Alright, looks like we're fine here. One stop here, and then a longer stop here, for again a nice smooth walk through the hills with no stops. And we've got our rainbow drop. Nice quick encounter for suicide. Boy, the Nintendo is in the perfect place. I can just reach it from here. The reset button's really good. Go right, and we're good. So now that I'm going to be entering Charlock and doing a lot of manipulations in the dark that require all audio cues, once I'm in the dark I'm going to need everyone in the room to be quiet. Oh, whoops, that's not the right place. Fortunately, if something like that happens, we can always just go back and restart the section. Yeah, I can hear them if they scream too. Go right. Nope. Oh, I don't think that'll do it either. There we go. Oh, shoot. One more time. So yeah, everything we do has to be just perfect, and there are generous windows for each stop that you do, but when you have to string them all together without making a single mistake, everything gets a lot trickier. Alright, so audio cues here. One more stop, then we use our rainbow drop. Yes, I realize that rhymed. Now, until recently, what we used to do was search for the stairs here, and because uncovering the stairs required a text box clear, I used to go back and reset after doing that and embarking on a new section. But I found a way, just like the Metal Slime manipulations, to string this all together into one section. Typing is really loud. Alright, so that's the journey to Erdrick's sword. And we really don't want the Axonite to put us to sleep. Yay! Alright.
I'm just to say it out loud right now. Thank you so much to Proton John for the huge host. We really appreciate it.
Proton John, welcome. Welcome to all of your viewers as well. Just in time for the final section, the Dragon Lord.
I thought I would type it out to make it not so noisy by talking, and then it turned out the keyboard was very loud anyway. But he got through it, so welcome everybody from Proton John's stream.
That's technically the harder section of these final two sections, just because, like, fighting the Dragon Lord is fairly difficult, but in that section, stringing together the uncovering of the staircase, running from an enemy in the middle, figuring out which path you're on out of multiple paths, and then figuring out what you're doing all on the fly, it can be kind of difficult. Alright, more bonks. One here, one here. 3 more stops before the castle, one here. Here and here. Only 2 stops on the first floor, then we'll be in the dark, so again, I'll need everything quiet as we do audio cues. Here we go. Alright, so far so good. We can see what we're doing now, so we can do visual manipulations now instead of using the walls for bonks. I hope I'm right about the last few here. I think the one here and the second last step right here. And we're ready for the final fight. So I described this before. Now that we have Erdrick's sword, we can actually do some damage without running out our MP. And we need all of our MP for the final form of the Dragon Lord. So we're just gonna chip away at him slowly with Erdrick's sword. We're not very strong, but it's enough to do enough damage. That's the longest one. So again, all the manipulation here is for that approximately 1/4 chance of him casting Stop Spell, so that we don't take any damage. Otherwise we wouldn't survive. Three more attacks to go, and then we get to the Dragon Lord's final form. And the last one doesn't require any manipulation. Here we go! So first we have a 1 in 16 chance of putting him to sleep. Then every time we cast Hurt, we only have a 1 in 16 chance of Hurt actually working. We also need to manipulate it to do enough damage each time, and we need the Dragon Lord to not wake up, which happens about 1/3 of the time. So that's what all these manipulations are for. That's the reason we have fights in between. Because sometimes these manipulations would go so long without any fights in between. So we put one here, for example, and actually another one right after. And now we get to a shorter Hurt that does more damage. So Hurt's max damage is 12, this one does 11. I have to put in a couple fights here. Again, this is all just pointing us in the direction of faster, favorable RNG. Now we can do a Hurt on the 8th command, which is great. I'm getting really used to talking through the Dragon Lord. Like, I'm not even nervous right now. Like, this part I'm so comfortable with now. Two more fights coming up. And of course, every time we fight, it's 50-50. Either we do 1 damage or 0 damage. So we manipulate through that as well. Another fight. Looks like 6 Hurts to go. I had to know who was standing there.
Sorry.
I knew someone was standing there, I had to know who. Okay, 3 more fights, and then I think it's all Hurts. And these are all going to be quick Hurts. So the first one is on the 3rd command. Then on the 5th command. 15th command. And finally finishing it off with, on the 4th command, a max damage hurt, 12 damage. That's it.
Wow. Wow.
Good times.
Ridiculous.
I'm so used to using the spell of return at this point, but this is the reason we got the wings. We don't have return yet. You learned that at level 13. We were at level 7 here. I'll give you a nice countdown for the timer, because I'm used to exactly where it happens. 3, 2, 1, time!
41:30.
Wow, even with those two,
Yeah.
it was
Nice.
still really close to 40 minutes. That's incredible.
You did quite well,
Command.
especially considering it wasn't exactly your fault that the things were happening.
Yeah.
You look over the channel.
So good job for sure.
Oh. Yeah. I like that.
Very good.
Very respectable time for sure.
Oh yeah, we can turn the volume back down. I won't need audio cues anymore. Thank you all. If there was any echo in audio, thank you all for enduring that. Did you say credits manipulation?
So the next game we'll be doing will be The Adventures of Bayou Billy. Again by NesCardinality. This is the... We're about halfway there through the NesCardinality block.
Well, alright, if I must. If it must be by a billion.
But thou must.
Thou must indeed.
Hey, Toad, thank you very much. Alright, I always hate to interrupt the credit music in Dragon Warrior 1.